This is Nightline.
Tonight, the surgeon accused of killing his ex-wife and her husband in court today.
The plea of not guilty form has been executed and signed on behalf of my client.
Authorities say he's this man captured on video in the alley behind the couple's home around the time of the murders.
It's not entirely clear that investigators at this point have the motive nailed down.
Plus, Jennette McCurdy, the former Nickelodeon child star known for iCarly.
My name is Samantha Puckett. I'm from Seattle and I love fried chicken!
Turned best-selling author of the dark and candid memoir, I'm Glad My Mom Died, now out with a new page-turner.
Waldo is this very aggressive young woman, and she really pursues her teacher, Mr. Corgi.
How she says anger motivates and inspires her.
I think female rage is a result of having your boundaries violated over and over again and not having the ability to advocate for yourself.
And meet the woman whose little soda jingle went viral.
Dr. Pepper, baby, is good and nice. Doo-doo-doo.
And then became Big Soda.
Dr. Pepper, baby, is good and nice.
Could it be headed to the Super Bowl?
Good and nice. Doo-doo-doo.
From ABC News headquarters in New York, this is Nightline.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. Tonight in an Ohio court, the surgeon authorities say committed a stunning double murder of the woman he'd been divorced from for almost a decade and her husband in their home, leaving their young children and dog unharmed inside.
State of Ohio versus Michael McKee.
Michael McKee appearing in court in Columbus, Ohio today, charged with the murder of his ex-wife Monique Tepe and her husband, Dr. Spencer Tepe.
The plea of not guilty form has been executed and signed on behalf of my client.
McKee's attorney Diane Menashe, an accomplished defense lawyer winning acquittals in several local murder cases. Menashe pleaded not guilty for McKee, who appeared via video link from jail, his highly anticipated appearance lasting just 48 seconds.
There's a body. He's laying next to his bed, off of his bed, and there's blood.
It was a shocking crime that rocked the Columbus neighborhood. Late last month, a husband and wife discovered shot to death right after their 5th wedding anniversary.
The urgent search for answers in the killings of a dentist and his wife in their home in Columbus, Ohio.
Folks in the neighborhood shocked by this news.
My heart just goes out to them. That's terrible to hear that happened, especially so close. It is a little bit worrying, but all I can think about is those kids.
2 young children, a 1-year-old boy and a 4-year-old girl, left unharmed, yet orphaned.
Our hearts remain with Spencer and Monique, their loved ones, and especially the children impacted by this unimaginable loss.
I mean, how do you tell a 4-year-old you're never going to see your mom and dad again? That they're not just a dentist and his wife who were murdered, they were excellent parents of 2 young children.
The children are now living with their late father's parents.
This is the critical spot in the investigation. So police believe this is the alleyway killer used to access the Tepe's home. This is the Tepe's home. This is their detached garage.
Police releasing this grainy video now say it's suspect Michael McKee walking through the alley behind the Tepe's house.
This was a targeted attack. This was a domestic violence related attack. We have the suspect's vehicle on neighborhood video surveillance arriving just before the murders and leaving shortly after. Detectives were able to link this vehicle to McKee. The vehicle was located in Rockford, Illinois.
The Tepes were killed between 2 and 5 a.m. Police don't yet know if there was a single triggering event that would have led to the crime being committed. The second floor is key. So up there we know that the bodies of Monique and Spencer Tepe were found in their bedroom.
After Spencer did not show up for work the next morning, his colleagues grew concerned.
He is always on time. This is very out of character. And we can't get in touch with his wife, which is probably the more concerning thing.
Recently released body cam shows a Columbus police officer had gone to a different address than the Tepes, responding to that 911 call about a wellness check around 9:15 a.m.
Anybody home? He spent about 10 minutes doing what he thought was appropriate. Had it been the right house, knocking on the door, going around to the backyard, doing all the things that you would do in an effort to try to reach out to the family or to anyone that may have been in that home.
It was the old college try.
About a half hour later, concerned friend showed up and called 911 again.
So I can hear kids inside, and I swear I think I heard one yell, but we can't get in. At this point, I don't know if I need to break the door in or just get in the house or what.
Police say Spencer had been shot multiple times. Monique was found with at least one gunshot wound to the chest.
Law enforcement says they found 3 9mm shell casings at the scene, along with 2 dead bodies. The gun they found in McKee's home that they're tying to the murders had a silencer on it, which tells us a number of things. 1, people in the vicinity during the murders might not have heard the shot go off, and 2, there was definitely a level of preparation and thinking going behind these murders.
However, the children and the family dog were unharmed. Authorities say there was no sign of forced entry.
The morning the Teppies were found was chaotic, and many in the community thought someone was on the loose. Someone killing individuals, whether it be for a targeted reason or random. The community was on edge.
Spencer and Monique had been a beloved part of the neighborhood.
Bright, warm, welcoming, constantly smiling, just joyous. They love to laugh. They love to be goofy.
I now pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss the bride.
To their family and friends, the couple was deeply in love, hosting their wedding at that home in 2021.
It was just such a magic moment. It was kind of the uniting of 2 families. Those 2 brought people from different sides together, and they were just the glue.
On January 10th, after a 10-day manhunt, police announced an arrest. The details were shocking. The suspect, the ex-husband of Monique Tepe, named Michael McKee, a 39-year-old vascular surgeon living in Illinois.
We have the suspect's vehicle on neighborhood video surveillance arriving just before the murders and leaving shortly after. Detectives were able to link this vehicle to McKee.
Law enforcement says they were able to look through different cameras in the neighborhood to get that grainy video. And from there, they're able to connect where that individual went to their car, further surveillance showing where that car went, getting a match on the license plate, and ultimately connecting it to Michael McKee some states away in Illinois.
We can also say that multiple weapons were taken from the property of McKee. And there is a preliminary link to one of the weapons that ties it to the homicides.
According to court documents, Monique and Michael were married from 2015 to 2017.
She left him after 7 months just because she just had to get away from him.
Monique divorced McKee in 2017 on the grounds of incompatibility. Neither was ordered to pay spousal support.
He and Monique, the victim in this case, were married for about 2 years, but that marriage was dissolved somewhat amicably.
On January 16th, the grand jury in Ohio indicted McKee with 2 counts of aggravated murder, 1 count of aggravated burglary, and 2 counts of aggravated murder committed during the course of an aggravated burglary.
Ultimately, this is a case that's potentially moving towards trial where McKee could face the death penalty, even though Ohio has suspended it temporarily.
But the mystery remains. Why did McKee drive more than 300 miles to kill his ex-wife and her husband 8 years after they got divorced? We will, of course, continue to follow this case as it unfolds. And now, a look ahead at Monday's show. An amateur sleuth delves into one of the country's most notorious serial killer cold cases, the Zodiac Killer, and makes a potentially shocking connection to another unsolved cold case, the Black Dahlia.
You're that sure? Without sounding cocky or arrogant, I have to say, yes, I am undoubtedly sure that this is the right guy.
And when we come back, we're with former Nickelodeon child star turned best-selling author of I'm Glad My Mom Died, Jennette McCurdy, opening up about her new book about a high school girl in a relationship with her teacher. Welcome back. Former child star Jennette McCurdy made headlines with her dark and candid memoir called I'm Glad My Mom Died, about the abuse she said she suffered at home and in Hollywood. Her new book, she says, was born from an age gap relationship from her own past. Here's my Nightline co-anchor, Juju Chang.
I love to make people uncomfortable, but I'm never writing for shock value. It's so important to me to write for truth, and the way I see it, I can't help that truth is generally pretty uncomfortable.
Hi, I'm Jennette McCurdy. The truth is, for Jennette McCurdy, writing is when she feels the most comfortable and in control of her life.
I kiss, I stroke, I lick, and I let those be the places where I'm allowed to want.
Much of her early years spent under the relenting glare of child stardom.
My name is Samantha Puckett. I'm from Seattle and I love fried chicken.
The former Nickelodeon star played Carly's spunky BFF in iCarly,
Where'd my straw go? Here.
later reprising her role in a spin-off series, Sam and Cat, opposite Ariana Grande.
Oh, let's see what you said. Say it again, one more time.
I said I'm really smart.
But she completely redefined herself with her unapologetically candid memoir, I'm Glad My Mom Died, about abuse at home and in Hollywood. Jennette is now out with a new shocking page-turner, at times a thinly veiled fiction, titled Half His Age.
Waldo is this very aggressive young woman, and she really, really pursues her teacher, Mr. Corgi. What I was trying to show there, though, is that as much as she can throw herself on the man, he is still 40. He is still her teacher.
And yet it doesn't fit a nice box of hero, anti-hero, villain. And you do talk about ideas of consent and sexual agency for young women, and that's a hot button topic.
My sexuality, as I was first developing and getting that kind of attention from men, it felt like power, and that's certainly what Waldo, the protagonist, is experiencing. But I don't think sexuality is a legitimate form of power. I don't think power is something that can be taken away. I think it'd be very easy to consider Mr. Corgi a villain, and it was difficult at times to empathize with him because this book is entirely through Waldo's point of view, and the most important thing was to honor that point of view.
A young woman's story fueled by one author's anger.
As I was looking back on a couple drafts into Half His Age, looking back on it saying, why this, why now? I think it was that I had a lot of unprocessed rage from past experiences of my own that needed processing, and Half His Age was the perfect vessel to do that.
Well, a lot of it obviously centers on an inappropriate relationship. How does that reflect inappropriate relationships you've had, which you've chronicled in the past?
You know, my first relationship was a significant age gap relationship. I was 18, he was in his 30s. There was some unprocessed anger from that situation, but that's really just the seed of the idea.
The New York Times calls you the chronicler of disaffected girlhood. Where does that rage come from?
The disaffected girlhood, I guess. Yeah, to me, I think female rage is a result of having your boundaries violated over and over and over again, and not having the ability to advocate for yourself for whatever reason, and then that's compounded over the years until eventually, inevitably, the rage starts cropping up.
Jennette had her first audition at age 6, encouraged by her mom, Deborah, their mother-daughter bond deeply disordered. I sat down with Jennette back in 2022 when she told me her family struggled financially. Over time, like so many other child stars, her acting paid the bills.
Like a lot of pressure. And then I think my mom saw my career as a way out of that life, of that way of living, of that constant grind.
How chaotic was that childhood home?
It was really complicated. My mom also had cancer when I was 2 years old. That was the first time she was diagnosed. So not only was it chaotic because of the abuse that was happening, and my mom's violent and erratic, unstable behavior, but also because we all lived in fear of her cancer coming back.
She describes sexualized abuse and emotional trauma with dark comedy. Early on, she says her mother demanded severe calorie restriction, which spiraled into years of dangerous eating disorders.
In many ways, your mother tried to keep you a child.
Yeah, I think my mom wanted to keep me as controllable as possible, and me growing up was a threat to that.
It would take Jennette years to seek proper help and start therapy to begin grappling with her trauma.
Even after she died, I'm nothing without my mom. I can't do anything without my mom. I'm incapable, I'm incompetent. What would mom want? What would mom think? What does mom need? That accepting that she was abusive would have meant reframing my entire life. And that felt impossible. I couldn't go near that for a long time.
Jennette's mother passed away in September 2013. To this day, Jennette's still revisiting complicated themes of fraught family dynamics and the fallout felt between those caught in between.
I think family dysfunction will probably follow me with whatever I write. It's you know, they say write what you know, and that is certainly what I know. That was certainly my experience.
What, if anything, do you think you're exploring and examining in this relationship that Waldo has with her mother?
Waldo has a couple of key relationships in the book. There's this relationship with her mother. There's this relationship with her best friend, who she has sort of outgrown and doesn't really know how to address that. And there's her relationship with Mr. Corgi. And Waldo really struggles to speak up for herself and advocate for herself. And, you know, I don't want to spoil the book, but I do think power is an important theme, and finding our own power is an important theme.
Jennette says she has since stopped acting, stopped living her mother's twisted dreams, and from the trenches of personal trauma, something remarkable emerged. Jennette's critically acclaimed memoir is being adapted into a TV series. Her relationship with fans also taking a deeper and more meaningful turn.
So many of your fans who ran to read your book were fans from your days as a child star.
Yeah.
Does that just feel like a lifetime ago?
Well, I will say the people who approach me now, and people have already started approaching me about half his age, it's an interaction that's much more rooted in mutual respect and genuine connection. Growing up, it was a lot of like people grabbing my arm very aggressively and shouting in my face quotes from the sitcom, and like it was just incredibly aggressive and jarring.
Selfie.
Yeah.
Jennette, now 33, says she's just getting started. From writing, directing, using her voice, she's more confident and more powerful than ever.
There's something that I really hope readers take away. I think we've all been Waldo, right? All of us have had experiences that we regret with men, whether it's an age gap relationship or otherwise.
And in retrospect, you're thinking, was that love or was that grooming?
Yes, 100%, absolutely. Love or addiction even. And I do hope that Waldo serves as an opportunity to look back at our past selves, you know, not cringing, not feeling humiliated, not focusing on our regrets and shortcomings, but more so reframing our relationship with our past self and finding more self-compassion and understanding.
Our thanks to Juju. Half Her Age is available now. When we come back, how one woman's impulsive little jingle
Good and nice.
ended up reaching millions.
Dr. Pepper, baby, it's good and nice. Good and nice.
And finally tonight, the little jingle that could, and sure did. It's tonight's Nightlight. Romeo Bingham impulsively TikToking a Dr. Pepper tune.
Dr. Pepper, baby, it's good and nice.
The stripped-down jingle becoming a social media sensation.
Dr. Pepper, baby, it's so cold out.
And catching the eye of the soda giant, licensing Romeo's jingle and blowing it up for broadcast.
Dr. Pepper, baby, it's good and nice.
Giving fizz to the college football national championship and leading to speculation it could be headed for the big game in February.
Good and nice.
Good for Romeo. And that's Nightline for this evening. Catch all of our full episodes on Disney Plus and Hulu. We'll see you right back here on Monday. Thanks for the company, America. Have a good and safe weekend.